Hello, hello, and welcome, family. Welcome to Hope TV. It's so exciting to have you here with us. It means the world to us that you've tuned in today just for some hope. We try to provide you with a daily dose of hope here at Hope TV, and world needs hope, and we're excited about it. And I want to thank everybody who's tuned in today: Apple TV, Roku, Twitch, Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, IG. This is the last week for Periscope too. Periscope is going out of business. Yeah.
So we put them out of business.
I don't know what happened, but Periscope was gone. I think March 31st. So Periscope, y'all stay tuned. I'm sure Twitter's gonna come out with something else. But everybody who's been watching through Periscope for the past years, thank you.
Come on over to another
just come on to another platform. So just even though Twitter is disbanding Periscope, we have other platforms: Apple TV, Roku, Twitch, Fire TV, Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, IG Live. And you can watch through the various websites. So thanks to the Periscope, I'm sure Twitter's come out with something else. But so thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you for helping us to keep this going an entire year. We're just doing this for our local church. And what's up, Great Travels Red House folk? We love y'all.
We miss you.
Miss y'all like crazy. It's crazy. We miss y'all. Hopefully we'll be back at some point. But even then, this is here to stay. So we appreciate you for being a part. If you're watching through a platform that will allow you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share, please do so. Every time you subscribe, you can get notifications as when new content is uploaded. Your likes and your comments help us with our algorithms and help us to expand the platform. And then, of course, the shares. We started our first broadcast, our first show, March 9th, 2020. And here we are at the end of March now, and we've had over 118 million views of our content through the cumulative platforms. And it's incredible, and it's amazing when you start with something small how it just can expand. It's been expanded, and we're grateful. And one of the reasons we've been expanded is because of Marriage Matters.
That's right.
And I appreciate you for being co-host. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she's actually, we started this with the Women of Hope. They did this March of 2020. The last time we had worship, public worship, was Women's Day. March 8th, 2020, and the week prior to that, the women had a whole week of activities. And shout out to Pastor Cerise Cross and Dr. Sharon Mitchell and Maria Reed, and of course one of our panelists tonight. We're gonna introduce her in a moment. But that week of activities. Yeah. So you know what that really means? That means that the women shut it down so bad we haven't had church since the women shut it down. So y'all just shut the whole week down. We haven't had church since March 8th, 2020. But we're excited. Marriage Matters came out of that, out of the Married Couples Ministry, and they asked us to continue, and it's been a rich. So we're excited. So back with us, I hope you guys didn't miss last week. If you did, you got to go back and check it out. But we have three amazing couples with us tonight. One has been married 50 years, almost 51 years, and we want to bring them on quickly. That's Deacon John and Mrs. Letice Reynolds. We have Mr. Eric Thornton and Ori Thornton, who've been married 3 years this month. Got married in Mexico, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, we had a great time there too. Yes, we did. We need to go back. And then of course we have Taylor and Sean, who are getting married in September of 2020. So welcome back, 2021. Yeah, 2021 this year. So welcome all three couples. Welcome everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
So we're just gonna kind of pick up where we left off last week. So last week we were talking to Deacon John and Miss Letice about, your marriage and how you keep it spicy. How did you deal with the adjustment? Your kids are gone. You guys have an empty nest. Was it easy?
We didn't talk about the boys at all, though. We didn't talk about them.
No. So you tell us about, the boys, and then them being there, then them being gone, and how you guys have adjusted to just having the house to yourselves.
Well, John started talking to me early about when we were raising the boys. One of these days we're going to be back together, because we were married 5 years before we had any children. And we had a wonderful time getting to know each other, traveling and doing things like that. So he would always say, one of these days the boys are going to be grown and gone, and we're going to get back to the things that we used to do. And so a lot of my friends experienced that loneliness or that feeling of children leaving the nest. But honestly, Pastor and Andrea, I didn't feel that way. I felt like with them being young men, it was time, and so being the only woman in the house and two boys and a husband, always did things for all of them. I cooked the food, served the food, they'd sit at the table. And I did all of that. And so once it became time for them to move out on their own, I felt like we had done all we could do for them and it was time. So I didn't go through that period. What about you, John?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you just the short story of it is, when young men get a certain age, they think they have certain rights, and the only way, I let Jason and John know instantly. When you have your own light bill and your own gas bill, and you have your own place, and you have a key for it, then you can be grown. So they had no choice. The only way they could be grown, they had to have a key to get in and out of their place, because to this day they have never had a key to the house.
Wow.
We don't give out our key out to our children. They can't. I'm not going to have them coming and eating food out of the refrigerator and all of that, and I'm not here. So it's real simple. If they're gonna come by, they know to call. Cause if we're not here, they don't get in.
Look, that was for me.
Absolutely. So speaking of kids, Ori and Eric, the Reynolds on that backside, they've gone through that period. 5 years, first 5 years, it was just them two, raised two strong sons and got them on, moved on, and now you're in that first part. What they went through many years ago, you're in that now. Been married 3 years, and the beautiful princess is here. How has that affected? How's that adjustment period been? You just been married.
Oh man, you want to start? So Olivia she'll be 20 months this week, and we are definitely still adjusting just because she changes, and so I would say from onset, my biggest challenge was and still is sleep. There is no such thing of sleeping when you want to really anymore. And even if I have help, it's still like, you're still up and it's not what you think it is. She has been definitely a blessing, and, we've learned more about ourselves, being parents, and even how we parent. I never thought I'd kind of be like a helicopter mom. But from Eric's perspective, I am. She falls all over the place under his watch. But I do think that, ultimately, it's been an adjustment. We are enjoying every moment of it. She's a really good kid, which helps us. But it takes a lot of prayer and a lot of help. So that we were blessed with. And his mom came and stayed with us the first year, and now she's staying like a weekend a month for us just to give us a break. So we haven't made 100%. So I don't want to, complain. Yes, you're tired, but we have more help than many ever get. So we're definitely grateful for that.
That's great.
So Eric, your twin, how has she affected your relationship, everything? You as a man, how are you different?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I just want to. I'm really, really thankful. Thank God for our village, and including you all. You all have made such a great impression, and not only an impression, but you've impacted us. it's invaluable what you all have provided for us. And so, you know, my mom, my twin, she's just a gift to me from God. Just being first and foremost a phenomenal mother. Oh, my daughter, my twin.
Not that.
They both
Both of
yeah,
your
they
twins.
both twins.
So both, okay, both twins. Okay, yeah, no. So my daughter, oh man, she has me wrapped around her finger. I mean, anything that she wants. I just want to be, you know, I just want to be the best father that I could possibly be. Whether it's not only providing, but being there every day after school, because Ori has to work late, being in her position because she's in a uh, upper level management HR position, and so oftentimes I have to pick up Olivia after school, and it's us. Whether we're outside, going outside for or me making dinner or doing whatever it is that we do. It's to me, being able to be a father, I feel like is one of the most important things that I can do, in life. I want to be a phenomenal husband, a phenomenal father, and being able to spend time with her as much as I possibly can, to me is so important.
So let
I
me
don't
ask
know if
you
I
this.
answered the full question.
Yeah, that was it. But I want to ask you guys this because I know Ori very well, and I know that traveling schedule was kind of cut in half because Ori would just go on a vacation every other weekend if she could. So how has that
Yeah.
changed?
Well, you know what? It's changed it's obviously, when you become parents, I mean, that's the true time, commitment. But what I try to do is when you know, or still goes out. Don't get that twisted now, y'all. She goes out. I just, I'm the type of man where I want her to have fun. I want her to go out. I feel like it's for your psychological development. I mean, I feel like it shouldn't be just on the woman to do everything, right, or to just take care of the child all the time. So I think we have a nice split. We split it up very well, and whenever she wants to go out, I really have no rebuttals. Go out, have fun.
It's great.
One thing that's
Las
go ahead.
Vegas.
Is that say Las Vegas?
We just returned from Las Vegas, so we balanced it.
I got you. I want to ask you one thing right quick before we move on. Talk about the emptiness. You talk about Reynolds, on the back end, family. But how was it that first year having your mom live with you? Because Andre, my mother, I don't know if my mother could have lived with us for a whole year.
Nah.
I don't know because she just would take over the house. Her mother, yes, her mother and I get along. I think her mother and I would have gotten along much better for a whole year than my mama. Well, my mama, she wasn't taking no kids
No,
for a year.
she
So
was,
yeah, she had kids young, so she's no. Matter of fact, we didn't call her grandmama. We said she hadn't earned all the letters, so they call her Grub. That's the G.
That's what the kids called it.
So, how was that the first year? Because a lot of people, have struggles with the in-laws. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, the therapists, they try to tell people, don't have in-laws around you that much early on. So how was that adjustment for you, for both of you, having your mom live with you for the first year?
Well, I thought, well, first and foremost, that's across because I mean, that was some phenomenal couples therapy. Like, I mean, I had to plug that. But with my mom, honestly, I don't see how I think that we're in a better place because my mom came, and she was so open to staying with us and just, I mean, that energy is what we need. We really needed that, and honestly, we know that a lot of people aren't as don't they don't have that, right? And so I just wanted to do as much as make her as comfortable as possible. Whatever you need, hey, you want some Cheesecake Factory? I want to get it for you. Anything that you need, because she was not only she was our daycare as well. So every day we would go to work, and she would actually my mom would actually help in pretty much teach everything that Olivia knew until she went to actually real daycare. And also too, our village is just so great. Mama Lovey would come over, and she would sub in anytime. And Mama Lovey being an educator, it's just we've seen so much development in our little princess Olivia. So it's a blessing. That's something I don't take for granted at all. I'm very thankful for it.
I will say this: she didn't just keep Olivia. Like, she washed dishes, she cleaned, she cooked sometimes. So
Right.
it helped us because there were moments where, I'm tired, Eric's tired. We could be a little chippy, especially early on. Um, but the fact that we didn't have to argue over who was going to clean up the kitchen or, because that's real life, right? You're stressed out. You have no idea what to do with this human, and no book can tell you,
That's right.
anything.
That's
Like, I
right.
literally had friends tell me, girl, you better sleep now, or all the things your friends tell you. Oh, you don't get it until you get it.
Right.
And so I think
Mhm.
she definitely played a major role in, helping us through those moments where we just needed a break, from whatever it was with the house or with Olivia or anything. And so we're forever grateful for that.
That's
But
awesome.
So
literally, I
Taylor
joke
and
when people ask us, when are we going to have another one? I'm like, well, we need to talk to my mother-in-law because that's going to whenever she's ready.
oh gosh, that's good. That's good. So Taylor and Sean, let me ask you this. So when we first got married, when we were engaged, I didn't want a wedding. I wanted to like go somewhere, get married, and come back and say, "Hey, y'all, we married. Let's have a big barbecue in the backyard. We just rock out like that." I didn't want all the fancy stuff. Well, his mom and my mom thought we needed to have a wedding. So I said, "Okay, since this is y'all's wedding, then y'all gotta pay for everything." Because I'm not paying for anything that I don't want. So however big y'all want it to be, you have to pay for it. However small you want it to be, y'all have to plan it. I didn't pick out flowers. I didn't pick out colors. I did nothing. I didn't get my dress. My sister picked my dress out. I didn't pick out any bridesmaids because I didn't want it.
Nothing. However, go ahead.
Go ahead.
However, I was a pastor. You know, my mom had been a pastor's wife. Her mom had been a pastor's wife. And when I talked to her mom about marrying her, um, her mom was like, well, her father died when she was very young, and he was like, he would be so happy. He always wanted to see his girls get married, have a wedding. So when she said that, I'm like,
He gave in.
okay. She's like, her dad would have loved to have seen her walk down the aisle. So I'm like, how do I go and say, okay, we're gonna have a barbecue and go to the court? You know what I mean? So it was. So I was trying to make my mom happy, make her mom happy at the same time. So that's why we planned the wedding, us three, without any assistance from my wife. But anyway, just to put the caveat. So now you go. So now you can answer the rest of the
So
question.
now my questions to you is, are you guys receiving input from family members who, unsolicited, you know, or are you getting that, first of all? And if you are, how are you managing it? How are you putting people nicely in check?
Yeah, I would like to just say you were on the right path when you wanted to just go to Vegas because we should have done that at this point. That's how we feel sometimes. But yeah, if my mom is watching this, mom, I apologize in advance. But you know, they have bridezillas. My mom is definitely kind of a momzilla. With our wedding in terms of kind of trying to plan things and give her input, but it's all good. But I think something that we've definitely learned is it's important to kind of be a united front at all times and just stay firm in your boundaries because if we just agree with what everyone else wants, then you know it'll be their wedding and we're the ones paying for it. We're already over budget and it's the whole thing. But so yeah, we're definitely yeah.
Yeah, no, she said, I mean, the biggest thing is just remaining a united front. And at first, I mean, that was our biggest concern. Like, I remember when I told my mom I'm about to propose, the first thing she said, she didn't say congrats. She said, I'm so happy. She said, oh, I'm about to have another wedding. I'm like, I'm getting married, you know? So, like, you're not, I was like, come on. So, between my mom and her mom, you know, at first we were so worried. Like, we're like, man, they're going to try to take over. Like, they going to want to talk to the wedding planners more than we do. And then surprisingly, like, we had to talk with them initially and they were fine with it. And they've kind of, you know, I won't say been fully, you know, stepped away or disengaged, but they're not as bad as we thought they were going to be. Now, they are in charge of the rehearsal dinner, and that's just like a can of worms we should never open. I mean, you know how you said you get that unwanted input, unsolicited. That's where that comes in. But as far as the wedding, I mean, we're doing our best, and again, they keeping their distance. That's the beauty.
I think the best thing that we did was our moms definitely like wanted to be really involved and us just giving them the rehearsal dinner to be in charge of kind of really helped us out because we can focus on the actual wedding and they can own the rehearsal and whatever they come up with, we'll be happy with it and we'll show up and that's kind of worked out for us.
That's a great idea.
That is.
That's,
Give them a project.
that's
Exactly.
yeah.
So let me ask you this. How was it when you guys met each other's families? Like, did they take to you right away, or was it like a process? Or even your siblings or anybody else? How did it go with that?
Yeah, I know when Taylor first met my mom. I mean, my mom just embraced her, opened her with open arms. I mean, my mom knew too. Like when I was dating, if you met my mama, it was something serious. Like you know, we maybe have something going on. So when my mom met her, she loved her. I mean, again, fully embraced her, and it was no hesitation. You know, same thing with my dad, family members, brothers and sisters, same deal. I mean, it was no hesitation. It was just natural for everyone involved. So you know, that was that seamless transition she mentioned earlier, and then vice versa when I met her family, and I'll let her jump into that.
Yeah, I will say, like, he wasn't there for this part, but when I first met his mom, he was in the bathroom or something, and she was basically just like, "My son is great. Like, you have a good one. Don't mess this up." Like, you know, just a little subtle threat. He wasn't there for that. But after that, you know, it was all great, of course. And his family's been super welcoming to me. I've dated people in the past where their younger sisters were like, you know, low key kind of not really rocking with you, I guess, immediately. I've definitely dealt with that, but his younger sister is awesome. She's way better than what I was when I was her age, so she was my role model. But yeah, it has been really gone well. We're grateful for that.
So, Miss Latisse, I saw your hand go up. So, how did you handle that situation with the in-laws?
Well, it wasn't difficult. My mother-in-law and I, we got along very, very well. His dad and I, we got along well. Even his baby sister. But I think the older sister, it was almost like she was losing her brother. And I think John showed so much attention to me. You know, I would hear little comments like, he loved Latisse, but he do his family. You know, little things like that. And I just ignored it and continued to be nice, cordial to them. And eventually they got over it. because it wasn't going to change anything anyway.
That sounds like you sound good.
Well, no, I didn't let mine ride that easy, Miss Leticia, but we're good now.
You know, Dick, let me ask you a question. I think it's helpful because we try to ask questions based upon what a lot of people are dealing with. And I remember when we moved here. It's crazy. We've been almost. We met them in November of 2003. So it's almost 18 years. Mm-hmm. Good night. Mm-hmm. But when we met you initially, you had been working really out of the country with your job. You know, you've been working forever. One of the hardest working men I've known. But you spent over 3 years working in the Bahamas. You helping to build the Atlantis Hotel down there. When I heard that initially, when we talked about it, I said 3 years you worked not just out the city or out the state, but you were out of the country. How did y'all manage? How did y'all navigate being married? Because I got people who watching. I got NFL players, Kevin Beecham. He's watching now. You know, he was in New York. His wife was living in Arizona. You know, I got other people who in the military. Somebody may be stationed overseas, or somebody who works out of town and comes on the weekend. So how did you manage? You both of you. You know, Deacon, you and Ms. Letice. How did y'all manage your marriage and handle being separated for 3 years while he was working in the Bahamas?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, first of all, I was traveling too because I was the human resource manager for Wachovia, and we managed about 3,000 people in different states. And so we were both kind of doing the traveling. John would come home on occasions, and then I never missed an opportunity to go to the Bahamas either. And so sometimes if we were, I like that. Sometimes if we were buying other banks in other places, I'd hop on a plane and go down to see him. And ladies, I always kept it excited. He never knew what he was going to get till he got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I really, it was different, but it's a cultural difference. And so once you get to work and you have a job, you get wrapped up in your job, and before you know it, it's 2 or 3 weeks have gone by, and you've been so trying to get things on track doing a job until you're not thinking about your child or your children and your wife, other than just hoping that, you know, that they're doing well, because you're trying to make finances come together for them at home so things are fine. And what happens is, because Letice would come down at different times, even I didn't know she was going to be there, but then the word gets out and it gets all the way back to the hotel and to the job. Tell John the missus is in town. All the way from the airport. But actually, it was very difficult at first. When you leave home, 2 months is real bad. It's really tough. But after 2 months, and after things kind of settle down, where you know, you got your plan and working, and things are in place, I was you know, I found it very necessary to leave the Bahamas, come to Atlanta, get Letice, and fly on to Hawaii and take 2 weeks. Now leave one island to go to another island. You know, I wasn't gonna bring her to the Bahamas, because that would have been too much like at work. So,
right.
And so those things mean something. And so the only way that I could make it was because I had a wife that was willing to sacrifice. Because I don't care any way you slice it, it's a sacrifice. Whenever you're away from home.
That's the truth. That's so true. So Eric, we've been talking about this, and because I think it's interesting. 3 years married. Got Miss Olivia. She's 20 months, and you're working, always working. Both work. Both you very very involved in your professions, and then on top of that, now and you're active in the community through our fraternity, and then now on top of that, now you start a business. So you are a husband, a father, you are an employer, an employee, community, just a community guy. How are you navigating all that with you? And talk about your business as well. I think it's very powerful, but how are you managing all those things? We hear what Deacon Reynolds did, for those times when he was out of the country. How are you navigating through all that with Ori's business schedule as well?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, obviously, we're still navigating time management is very important. Ori is very very she's very very detailed, and so she has calendars set up for me. Sometimes I use them, but sometimes I don't. When I don't, she's always upset at me when I'm not using them. But she's a trooper. She's trying to get me to be a lot better as far as time management. But I'm definitely navigating, especially when we started the business. When I would say, what was it, a year and a half or a year before? So we've been in business now for I would say about 3 years. But the business really got heated up when my daughter was born. So we really had to navigate that. And I think one thing that's great is having a partner, having my wife that she we talk about our goals, and we know where we want to be, and we pray about it all the time. And I think one thing that she's very very supportive when it comes to the business and where we want to take it. And I think that that's something that's so important because she actually is the vice president of human resources with our with our company. And so we work together. I mean, obviously we're working as employees. I'm a vice president at a bank, and she is a vice president as human resources at her job. And also we come together to run this company. Just a little bit of information about our companies. It's called Firm Care Life Sharing, and we provide in-home healthcare solutions to our clients on the pediatric as well as the geriatric, and we also provide a holistic approach as far as home care to anyone that we can help. Our company has been blessed to be able to provide free in-home services to the pediatric side, and now we are providing free in-home healthcare services on the geriatric side, and to anyone that can actually apply and 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 uh, and actually be accepted into our programs, whether it's the Georgia Pediatric Program or the Community Care Service programs here in the Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, and Greater Georgia areas. So it's all about for us. It's and also me to the core. It's all about helping my community, being that you know. That I grew up in the Decatur area, in the on the south side of Atlanta, as well as in Atlanta areas, and operating in our communities, and especially in our poor communities. There aren't that many resources for our developmentally disabled communities, and I feel like obviously we're in a position to be able to provide those services for someone for us that really care about our community. So it's a great thing, but it's been it was challenging at first, but now we're really getting our way now, because we're using our time management, and we're actually able to balance a lot better. So we're growing with our clientele, and we want to be able to help as many people as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, one last thing, Sean and Taylor, this is a great question, and I think this is how it all flows together. Taylor, you decided to stop working because you're pursuing that MBA full time, and so and you're planning a wedding. So I just want to see how's that working? How did you come to that agreement, and how you navigate with that? Both of them.
Yeah, definitely. So going back to school was always kind of something that was on my mind. So I went to undergrad at Howard and studied business, and I knew that I wanted to continue with business, and that's how I kind of ended up at Emory. But I know that going back to school was super expensive for the tuition and obviously foregoing a salary. And Sean really encouraged me to apply. He said, like, if you get in, I'll have your back and we'll just figure out how to make it work. And I got accepted. He proposed to me on February 28th last year, and I got accepted on March 13th. So it was kind of like, all right, you said you want to marry me, so let's get to it. And so, really, so he's really had my back. It's really been a blessing just to have a real support system, not only on a daily basis emotionally, but from a financial perspective as well. And then planning the wedding has been kind of stressful, but we're getting through it together. And the closer we get to the date, we're getting more excited.
Yeah, it was definitely a big challenge. It was like, when I said it, I was being encouraging. I really wanted to help her follow her dream. And then when it happened, it was like, all right, let's go. So, you know, it was just, again, it was one of those things. It was like, I felt I needed to support her in that because it's something she's always talked about, procrastinated on. And, when she finally put her mind to it and went out there and applied, I was so happy for her. It was like, we have no choice but to make this work. So, I was willing to do whatever needed to be done. If I had to go Uber Eats, or DoorDash, whatever it may have taken, I was going to be down to take that route. Luckily we've been blessed. We haven't had to do anything extra outside of our day to day, and we're just making it work as much as we can.
Trying to stick to a budget.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, y'all have been awesome. This time is, time flies when you're having fun, and y'all have blessed us. And everybody who's watching, I hope you've been blessed. Eric, give us your name, your business one more time. We're gonna put it on the bottom of the screen.
Yes, so it is Firm Care Life Sharing, and you can actually find us at www.firmcarelife.com. That's FIRMCARELIFE, firmcarelife.com.
That's great. So if you know anybody who needs pediatric home care for the children or geriatric care for those who are older, this is a great company, great people that you can trust. Reach out to them. Listen, and if you're watching, any couple who's watching, if you are married, if you're engaged, and if you're dating, our married couples family ministry through Pastor Reese Cross, the church is offering now what's called a relationship assessment. And you can go to the link that's on the screen right now. We want to challenge everybody. I don't care if you're married 3 years, 50 years, 25 years, consider marriage. There's a relationship assessment that you can take. So if you want to refresh, renew it. So anybody who's watching, if you're interested, all 3 levels are covered. So the link is on the information is on the screen right now. Go ahead and take that assessment. See how you're doing. See how you measure up, and maybe see how some areas you can improve on and work on. So it's there, just here trying to improve and help us all just be better people and be better versions of ourselves. So we've been blessed today with John Latish Reynolds, Eric, and Ori Thornton, and of course we're thankful about the future Green family that's coming this coming September of 2021. Anything you want to say before we leave?
Nope. Just thank you guys so much. I love you all and we wish you all the best.
Yes.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank
Same
you.
to you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you.
So thanks
Yeah.
to everybody for tuning in. Hope you've been blessed by it. Hope you've been inspired by it. Please share this link with somebody you know. We're going to close this broadcast, but as always, remember this. If you'll be good to God, then God will be good to you. Until next time, peace. Thank y'all.
See
That
you
was
later.
awesome.
Thank you.